Welcome, my peeps, my peoples. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video. It'd be greatly appreciated from the bottom of my heart, my peeps, my peoples. It's Mary Jane. So let's talk about The Shy, Season 1, Episode 10. OMG. Like, okay, it's crazy. So we start off with some craziness. We start off with Reg. Reg is taking Trice out the trunk, boy, and throw him on the ground, treating him like he's a piece of scum. He's the lowest of the lowest. But I guess, Reg is trying to fend for himself. He's trying to survive too as well because he know Q ain't nothing to be played with. And he kind of probably figures out that's why Trice didn't come after Q because, it seems like, Trice would realize that, okay, listen, Q done came to me about this kid being killed. He was a basketball player. He was a star and this and that. Trice couldn't put it together that he was involved in this young man's murder and take out Q because that makes more sense for him to realize, hey, listen, that's the young man that I killed. You know what I mean? And then that's the young man he's asking me about. And I know how Q is because I used to work for Q. I used to, be one of his soldiers until he left and turned, his empire over to me. So wouldn't a smart thing to be to take him out? He should have listened to Reg when Reg was like, yo, let's get this dude, let's get this fool. So anyways, Reg is emptying out the trunk and, Jake is there to see this, and Jake looks scared. He looks shocked. He would rather be anywhere else than to be there with his brother, but part of him wants to be a part of it because all he knows is his brother. He looks up to his brother. He has no mother. He has no father around. So maybe he knows his friends have a different life and they live differently, and they in the gang and ain't carrying guns or whatever. But we also got to say Kevin shot somebody, but he got the gun from who? None other than Jake. So, but it seems like he's shocked, but he's curious at the same time because he's a kid. It's like a kid, when you tell a kid not to put, not to stick anything in the plug, in the electric socket, and they do. So it is what it is. And so, Reg brings, Trice into there with Q and his boys. And, Jake is just like, yo, I'm not standing around. I want to go look. And Jake went to go see what was going on. And, Q was like, okay, little man. And Reg was like, didn't I tell you to stay by the car? Didn't I tell you to stay in the car? Because, Jake has a mind of his own, just like Reggie does. So, anyways, Q was like, wait outside until I'm done. I'll call you when I need you. So, basically, Reg and, Jake is standing outside. Jake is like Reg's, father. But it also seems like Reg and Jake has built an even closer bond than he has with his gang members because, that's his little brother. He's bringing him into the streets. And it's just so sad that Reg can't see that his brother needs a better future, that but how do he know? Because he was raised the same way. So I'm assuming that Trice kind of like raised Reg because Reg mother and father disappeared. It is what it is. So anyways, you got now we move on to Kev and Papa. They have a very different total life. So basically, they're talking about the play, talking about rehearsing the play, talking to the teacher that basically that's probably the art teacher or whatever. And basically talking to them about the play and things going on and being worried. And the teacher's also telling Kev that you got a good voice, you got a wonderful voice and all this other good stuff and all that. And then the teacher was like, what's up with Jake? And then so then Papa was like, he is exploring other options. He is going to be attending in the family business. He's with his brother. Like, Papa is so elegant when he speaks and he talks and he gives information. You can tell that he pays attention to the elders in his community, like his mother and his father and his aunties or whatever. So, and then on top of that, Papa still has his father that's in the picture or whatever. And so, Papa was like, I'm praying for him. I light candles for him. I did this, I did that, whatever. But my mom said he's a lost soul. He lost his way basically. And so that's when the teacher was like, what? Let me talk to him, let me talk to, and it was like, no, you don't want to talk to his brother. His brother is pretty bad business. He's bad news. And so the teacher was like, no, you know what? I think I do want to talk to his brother. I think I can, they was like, no, you don't want to do that because they know how Reg is. So, but it is what it is. The teacher wants to talk to him or whatever. So talk to Reg, basically to find out what's going on with Jake. And then, we don't know if Jake is going to be returning back to school. So that's up in the air. But if he doesn't return back to school, would DCYF be looking for him? Would the truant police be looking for him? Or do they even care in this inner city? So we'll see. But basically, since, Jake is not on like public assistance or anything like that, most likely they won't look for him. It's when you get in assistance and your kids don't go to school and shit like that that they come out looking. But usually the truant police or whatever, do they have that there? So anyways, I don't know if they still even have the truant police going on. Or the truant officers that make sure when you bunk school they catch you. I know they were there when I was going to school. So anyways, moving on from that, we have, Trice finally is in there talking to, Q. And Q is like, Q got the knife, he got the cigar, he got his boys there in the warehouse, and he's ready to take Trice's life. And Trice was like, yo, don't cut up my face because, my mom going to want to see me buried, and she's probably going to want to have an open casket. He didn't say all that, but that's what he said when he was like, yo, not the knife, don't cut my face or whatever. So then, Q was like, I'll put the knife away, but you tell me what's going on. You tell me what happened with my son, Jason. Tell me what happened to my son. And so basically, and he was like, the basketball player that was killed. And he was like, I talked to Detective Wallace and he told me that you killed him, basically. And so then that's when it clicked. And it looked like it clicked. The acting from Trice was so excellent. Like, it looked like it clicked. It looked like he realized, oh my God, that kid that I took out was, Q's son. Oh, it's like he realized the basketball jacket. He realized everything. What, do Trice commit murders 24/7 that he don't know if he murdered this kid? So that's what I'm saying. He should have put two to two together a long time ago and took out, Q. That's what he should have did, especially when Reggie was down with it. So anyways, moving on from that, Trice is realizing, okay, yes, I did. And he actually tells a story about, he was at the van. Basically, he was with Wallace. They was, selling guns, doing what they do. And this young little kid with a basketball jacket, he wasn't at a party like they said or whatever. So basically, he had ice cream he was bringing to his girlfriend because we know, what's his name? Jason, Q's son, his girlfriend was pregnant. So I wonder if, Q is going to find out he has a grandchild. And if he finds out he has a grandchild, maybe that'll be good. He can assist with money, assist with this and assist with that because he has money to put a child through school. Because you see how he just brought that property, that house to spy on, Trice and his boys. So anyways, I wonder if that's going to come to play. Where is Tracy going to let him know he got a grandson? How is Q going to find out that he has a grandchild on the way or whatever? So anyways, moving around from that, Jason is talking to his girl on the phone and Detective Wallace and Trice see him. And so basically Trice runs up on him, was like, oh, what's going on, little kid? What you got in the bag? Blah, in the third. And so that's when, Jason was like, I didn't see nothing. He was like, what you mean you didn't see nothing? So then he starts to chase him and shoot him. And so that was like, damn, they shot him for nothing. Like, they could have let him go. And basically that's what Q was talking about when he was saying, like, I thought basketball players and athletes used to get a pass in the neighborhood because that's something he had taught Trice. Because Trice used to be one of his soldiers. So it is what it is. And so Trice is shooting at Jason. He got some good. It looked like he got him in the chest. He got him up here or whatever. But it didn't show him actually finishing off, Jason. And so anyways, Q goes outside. He goes get, Reg and hands Reg the gun to kill Trice. And I was just wondering, if that going to be some type of weapon, or is it going to be something that's going to be used against Reggie in the future, because his fingerprints is on the gun. He's giving the gun back to, Q, is the gun going to be destroyed, or is that going to be like a, emergency safety plan for Q if something does come up? So anyways, Reggie pulls the trigger and he kills Trice. And Jake is there. He's listening. He knows what's going on, and he tries to go in behind his brother before his brother murders Trice. But Q stops him. He was like, "Hey, little man, slow up, slow your roll." And then after Reggie committed the crime and killed Trice, Q lets Jake go in there and see, and Jake actually witnessed his brother killing somebody for the first time. But I don't know if this is the first time Reggie actually killed somebody. Is this Reggie's first body? But we know this is probably Jake's first time he's seen somebody been taken out. So it is what it is with that situation. And so we move on from that. It's like, damn. And while, Jake is involved in a murder, crime, kidnapping scene, conspiracy, and all this other bullshit, his boys are over there getting ready for a play, getting ready to rehearse for a play or whatever. So it's like, damn, Jake is really on that other side of town now. Like, he's really jumped off the porch. He's in there. It's not his fault. He's following his brother. He's following what is told to him. I was just like, damn. Ooh. So anyways, moving on from that, it's just like, can't believe Jake had to see that. Jake's a part of that, because even though Jake looks hard or whatever, he's still a child. He's still a kid. It's just that he doesn't have the same family life that Papa has or Kevin has. And it is kind of weird, because if this story that took place a long time ago, Kevin's parents wouldn't have been able to be so public with their love, Jake's two moms or whatever. So that's quite interesting how they put that in it too as well. So then moving on from that, it is what it is. And so then I was just like, damn. So we get on to Ronnie. Ronnie done snitched. Ronnie done dropped the bag. He done dropped the dime on everybody. Ronnie is no good. Ronnie tells Detective Cruz everything that's going on, everything that happened. He confessed to it. He said the reason why he, killed Jason basically is because, the reason why he killed Coogie, because Coogie had on Jason's necklace, and that's the last thing he gave his boy, his son or whatever. And so basically he cops to the crime, and it was like, there's any witnesses? And Ronnie drops a dime on Kevin's like, damn, Ronnie, go to jail, man. Do your time. You want to be a snitch. You want to go to jail. You've been a snitch. Go to jail, because you killed the wrong kid, for number one. Then Q had to come around and kill the right people. Then on top of that, you just can't do your time. You got to affect everybody. Like, you and Brandon kind of like let it go or whatever. You could have changed your life around on the outside and actually take care of your grandmother, do something different in the community or whatever. Because basically you spend the time in jail, it's not going to change anything. It's not going to help anything. It's not going to help Laverne feel any better about the situation. She would just rather forget about the whole thing, period. But I guess it's a moral thing to do, but it's not going to change anything. It's not going to make the situation better. And plus, Brandon gave you a pass and let it go. And Brandon didn't even drop a dime on you. The brother of the boy that you killed didn't drop a dime on you. Now your grandmother's going to be going to a home. It's like, damn, Ronnie, have some fucking... You're just like Ronnie. And then on top of that, he snitches on the guy that sold him the gun, Mandela, or whatever he sold the gun to. Now the cops is going to run up into his crib, and that guy actually saved Ronnie's life when Ronnie got shot. Now Kev is going to be facing probably charges. So I don't know what's going to happen with Kev. Now Kev is going to be in this situation. His whole life is going to change around while he has to face this again too as well. But maybe Kev might get some help for the situation, because it could be bothering him, because you see now in the whole episode Kev was kind of nervous about the play, but it could be a lot of things that's bothering Kev as well, because he done witnessed a murder. He done shot somebody. So I don't know if Ronnie gonna snitch and drop a dime and say Kev shot him as well. So now Kevin, his whole family is going to be uprooted. And the situation with Coogie, which, you know what I mean, is if you witness a crime, you're supposed to report it. But this situation is different. I mean, if you witness a murder, it's good to report, especially if you in a safe enough environment to report a crime. But the thing about this is, Kev took care of the situation. He done shot you. And so basically you don't need the witnesses. There's enough evidence. You got the chain, all this other stuff. They don't do that. It's open shut case, basically, especially a murder in Chicago, especially a black man killing another black child, killing a black child. The story is going to be all right. But one thing, Ronnie didn't do, he didn't point out that he found Coogie through Detective Cruz, but he snitched on all the brothers. That's what he did. So anyways, he snitched on all the brothers. Now he's going to be going to jail. He's going to be facing time. It is what it is with that situation. So he confessed to murder. And, and I believe when Tracy saw Q, now hearing the story about Q and actually confirming that Q is actually Jason's father, when Tracy seen, Q at the cookout, she knew that Q was there to handle the murder beef. And she probably knew at that point she most likely messed up with having Ronnie go after, whoever killed, Jason, because she knows what type of man Q is, and he was going to handle that situation. But it is what it is. So moving on from that, it's like, damn, Ronnie, you just did whatever. So anyways, we get Brandon. Brandon's with Jerica. They're making up. They're having a good time. Basically, he's loading his truck up with food, and Jerica lets him know that there's an offer to sell the house, and they're about to go sign the papers for the house. It's a good offer. And basically now, Brandon can fix up his taco truck and make that money, make that cheddar, baby. So he gets to the house, and they're getting ready to sign the documents. Brandon gets a phone call. It is from Detective Cruz, and he lets him know that they caught the person that killed Krugi, and basically he has to tell the news to his mom and her new husband and his girlfriend. And basically Laverne just really drops, so she didn't sign the papers to sell the house. She just drops. She goes right into Krugi's room, and so now she's in a whole world of emotion, and that everything that she tried to oppress has came back out. And now it is what it is with the situation. She's not going to want to sell the house. She wants to stay there, and she wants to be there for Ronnie's trial. And she also knows that, when she finally sees Ronnie in court, that, he knows Brandon. But she ain't upset with it, and she ain't mad at it, but she ain't selling the house. And it was funny how when Ronnie went to jail, not funny, but when Ronnie went to prison or whatever, he was in line for food, and they pushed him out the way, and it was like, get out of here, Neutron. The guy was like, who you belong to? And so they pushed Ronnie out the way, and it was like, get out of here, Neutron. So it seems like, and then the next scene, we see Ronnie getting escorted to a prison cell by the guards. And so we realize that there's a black guy sitting there, and I realized that has to be connected to Rafif, because Ronnie, I believe Ronnie joined the Islam. He's Muslim now, and now he's protected by Islam, so he'll be okay in prison, I guess. We'll see what happens with that situation. So anyways, it's not, but before then, Jerica actually admits that she had sex with a guy on her job. His name is Marcus. So it's good that she didn't have sex with, Brandon's cousin, Hannibal. I thought she did or whatever, because he sent her the dick pic. So then moving on from that, we get Emmett. Emmett is chilling with his son or whatever. And basically his ex-girlfriend, his baby's mother, Tiffany, she comes through, and she's battered, basically. It looks like she's battered or whatever. And then Emmett is feeling some type of way, and he needs some help. And he feels like, he needs to save his child. He don't know what to do, because his mama is going to be moving to Seattle. So he's a young man facing a lot of crisis situations when he doesn't really understand these crisis situations, and he doesn't want to overload his mother with information about what's going on. So Emmett does have a friend. Indeed, he has a friend in Sonny, and Sonny be trying to school him and tell him different things. And Sonny's almost like a father figure to Emmett, because Emmett if you look around, Emmett doesn't have any positive males in his life. He doesn't have any males that are even spending time with him to tell him anything. There's no males around Emmett, you know what I'm saying? So he talks to Sonny about the situation, and Sonny was like, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard. But he listened to Sonny. Sonny was like, it's gonna be hard for you to get custody and all this other good stuff. And basically, Emmett, he actually, I'm just gonna try to get to Emmett's story. So Emmett goes to his baby mother's house to pick up his son or whatever. He hears noise, he hears screaming, he hears like somebody's fighting. He tries to break through the door, and then basically he can't break through the front door, but he's able to break through the back door. And once he does that, he sees that his baby mother Tiffany is actually beating up her boyfriend. He's all bruised up in the face. She's beating him with a toilet plunger basically, and his son is crying. So he can't believe what's going on, and basically he runs away with his son. And he was like, you know what, I'll get back to you guys later. She's yelling to him, oh, leave my son, where you going with my son? So it seems like it's a bad situation for a son to live in. But Emmett has to find a steady employment, more employment that is going to make him enough money where he's able to support himself and support a household, because he's going to end up having to pay rent and things like that, and being able to support his child with childcare, medical, and all different types of stuff. And now that his mom's leaving, he might not be able to afford that apartment on his own. So he's dealing with crisis situation as well. And then Emmett also has to deal with owing that, the store guy the money back, because Emmett got robbed from the sneaker situation. And so we'll see what happens with that. But he talks to his mom about the situation. She was like, I don't know what you're going to do. It's going to be very hard to get custody, but you'll figure it out. Well, he needs some help figuring out. He needs to know what papers to file, what to do, all the things that he needs to do to make himself look like, an upstanding individual. So basically, he's going to have to try to get back in school. He's going to try to probably maybe try to have Sonny force or have Sonny forge, hours that he's working or something like that, or work more hours or get a new job. And then, it's really not that common for judges to also, grant fathers custody, because they always feel that the mother deserves custody, even if she is a bad parent sometimes. And so basically, I guess Emmett could get with the boyfriend of the baby's mama and have him testify against her, or maybe he can take some pictures, but he needs some witness. He needs some evidence that there's abuse going on in the home, that it's not a safe environment for his son to live in. So that's going to be all in itself, that Emmett's dealing with real issues, real problems, and he doesn't really know where to turn or really have someone to sit down and guide him. That's what a lot of people. So anyways, now we're done with Emmett's situation. So moving on from that, we get Detective Cruz and Detective Wallace. They meet up in the bathroom, and basically they're talking. And so, Detective Wallace was like, oh, so Cruz, you got him to confess, did you? And he just walked in and confessed like it was easy, like nothing. And he's like, yo, did he actually say that he found out who Coogie was through you? And so then that's when Detective Cruz comes with the gun, pushes Detective Cruz up to the wall, put the gun to his head, and like, motherfucker, I ain't got time for this shit. I ain't got time for you. I'm at the edge and I'm about to lose it. And so, Detective Wallace was like, shoot me then. Shoot me. If you pull it out, you better use it. Oh, blah, blah, blah. So, Cruz puts the gun back in. He was like, yeah, that's what I thought. And he headbutted him. And then now Detective Wallace is on the ground. Detective Wallace was bullying and trying to pick at, Detective Cruz, but it didn't work. It didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? It didn't happen. Like, now he realized that Detective Cruz ain't about that, and he was holding back, because he would really F you up, Detective Wallace. But also, I don't know if I mentioned, when, Trice was, trying to getting ready to shoot Jason did dial 911, so they show us him dialing 911, and, that's where Detective Wallace erased that call. So it is what it is. It's like, damn, go Detective Cruz headbutted him straight up. So Detective Wallace has took some L's. He's thinking that he's this shit. He can bully Cruz and lie, make him look stupid. But Cruz headbutted him. And, Detective Wallace said to Cruz, you dead, man, or whatever. It's not going to be the case. And so, anyways, moving on from that, I was just like, damn, he headbutted him. Like, he was not playing at all. So, I just can't believe Ronnie would really just, confess. he could have did a lot more. He could have did a lot more than just confess. He could have really made a difference. But I guess that was his truth. And I don't think prison's going to be that hard for him because he was in the military. And then we find out that Ronnie was in the military. He used to do construction work. So he had minor jobs or whatever, because basically when he goes to court, Laverne's there, her husband's there, and Brandon's there, and basically he senses he doesn't have any bond or whatever, and so Laverne, she's happy about it, but now she's stuck because she has to be here for this trial. I wish she could sell the house and then move somewhere else and then come back and forth for the trial, but I guess she wants to stay in this house close to Kruger's spirit while she goes and watch this trial, which is going to hurt her a whole lot. And this trial may come out a lot of information about Brandon's dealings and knowing what was going on, because now Kevin might even tell the police that he shot, Ronnie, or Ronnie might bring that up. And so then, now we're going to have Jake that might come in a situation, because once Detective Cruz talks to, Kevin or whatever, is Kevin going to say, yeah, I was walking home with my friends. I was walking home with my best friend, Papa, and Jake or whatever. And then now Detective Cruz is going to have to go question them. And then Detective Cruz is going to realize who, Reg is and who Kevin is connected to, and then basically put situations together. Now Reggie is with Q, and Q is actually Jason's biological father, because Detective Cruz already knows that, Ronnie is not, Jason's biological father as well. So now is Detective Cruz going to get deep into the situation where he realizes who Cruz is, where he realizes who Reggie is, the gang, and become part of that situation, because them other people supposedly the vice Detective Wallace was dealing with. And would he find out who did what? Would he find out about the gun situation? What's going to happen? So it seems like Ronnie has opened a can of worms on everybody's ass for snitching. And I wonder what's going to happen to Ethel. Is she, his grandmother, is she going to, a nursing home or whatever? Maybe she's better off there. So anyways, Reg rose up to the stash house, and he actually got a lot of nerve. He rose up to the stash house and Trice Ben's truck. And basically he pulls up. Big Mike jumps up, and you think there's going to be something furious. You think it's going to be something bad, but nah, Big Mike jumps up. The gang jumps up, and then that's when Reg was like, Trice is not coming back. He's gone forever. And so this is when Big Mike was like, yo, does my pay stay the same? He was like, yeah, well then shit, nigga, huh? We all family here. But that also gives the message to the gang, just take out people, you know what I mean? So who's gonna take out Reggie next? But also Reggie was getting, Jake ready, gave him the hammer, showed him how to tuck it in. So would Jake be ready to shoot if the other gang members were ready to shoot? So basically, Reg is like telling his gang members or his crew that, hey, listen, this house is hot, so we're gonna go to the park and do a little bit something here, a little something there. We're gonna have to change around. We need a new hustle, this and that. So Big Mike was like, then you come up with the plan. He was like, I'm gonna have something coming up soon, so it's all good. And we know what he's gonna have coming up soon. It's gonna have to deal with Brandon, which is gonna be bad for business. So anyways, everything's hot. Everything's good. So they go on about their business. Damn, I'm almost on 30 minutes. So anyways, I was just like, damn. So Jake and, not Jake, but, Papa and, Kevin, they're getting ready for the play. They have to play whatever. Andrea, she's messing up. She can't dance. Papa was like, oh my God, you should be glad that she dumped you. Your friend can't even dance for shit, man. So anyways, they're doing a normal kid thing, but Kev just seems uneasy, and I don't think it's about the play. I think he knows whatever he did in the past is coming to haunt him. And so anyways, afterwards, Reg is talking to, Jake was like, yo, what you want to do? You want to go get something to eat? You want to get some sneakers? You want to get this? You want to get that? And, Jake was like, nah, I want to, he tells his brother he wants to go see the play. So Jake and Reg go see the play, whatever. And you can see Jake wanted to be a part of that play, wanting to be a little kid, but his innocence is over. He's not innocent anymore. He's not a kid no more. He done graduated to full-time gangster. So we don't know if he is actually going to make it to next season, if Reg's going to make it to next season, What's going to happen with the situation? Will Papa or will Kev get popped? What is going to happen? Because this shit is going to come full circle pretty soon. And so it is what it is with the situation. And so the play went well. You got Papa and them taking pictures. Papa and Kev and Andrea taking pictures. But in Andrea's spot, it was supposed to be Jake. Jake is missing. I think Kev really feels some type of way about Jake not going to school anymore. So anyways, they're done with the pictures. They're supposed to go have a party. And then guess who pulls up? Kev pulls up. But you know what? Reggie was enjoying himself at the play. So there is still some humanity and Reggie, and he's still kind of like childlike, but he had to grow up. He grew up in the streets, and he's only teaching Jake what he learned, what he thinks is the right way. See, Jake's supposed to be in that picture. So, and look at Reg. Reg is all happy and shit. Even, Jake is happy. Jake was supposed to be a part of this. So anyways, Jake meets his boys in the hallway, Blase in the third. And him and Kev has a very bad exchange because Kev wants to know when he's coming back to school. What is he going to do and all this other stuff. And, Jake was like, I'm with my brother, basically. I'm rolling in the streets. I'm doing my thing. And so that's when Papa runs up to Jake, gives him a heart that is made out of rosewood, which is supposed to be for protection and all this other stuff. And it gives him a hug. And then, Jake actually pats him on the back and kind of like hugs him back because Jake don't get no hugs. He don't get you did a good job unless he done killed somebody or he watched the crime or he's part of a crime. He don't get nobody. Jake doesn't get anybody say, hey, you're a good kid. Hey, you did something good. Give me a hug. I love you. He don't hear that shit. So it is what it is. He got to be hardcore 24/7. And he got to watch his back 24/7. But also it was funny how Papa was trying to hit on Keisha, Kev's sister, and Kev was not feeling that. He was like, "Yo," Papa was like, "Yo, I got the skill. Your sister's feeling me." No, she's not. She is feeling Emmett. Emmett's somewhere running around trying to get life together with his babies. And so, anyways, Ronnie, Mr. Neutron. So, anyways, we got Detective Wallace. He meets up with, Q, whatever. They meet up in the bar. Once he comes down, everybody disappears. Ronnie, he puts his hat down on a white handkerchief. Basically, he don't want his hat to get dirty. And I guess he doesn't want to leave any forensics around. I know they cleaned that bar up because we know how much precision and how much they play close attention to details. Ronnie and his boys, because one plays chess, one was a mechanic. Like they old school. They know how to clean up a crime scene or whatever. And so then Ronnie asks, Detective, Wallace, like, Trice is all good, whatever. Trice is done. He was like, well, fuck Trice. And so then that's when everybody starts laughing. And that was Q was like, that's the same thing he said. He said, fuck you too as well. He was like, what? Well, fuck him or whatever. And he was like, well, I talked to him basically, and he there was a little bit more that was left to the story. And this is how the story goes. So we find out that, Trice, shot him or whatever, but he didn't finish the deed because he kind of got cold feet, because Trice ain't really a killer, because if he was really a killer, he would have killed Reg. And if Trice would have killed Reg, he would have still had to deal with Q. But would he be able to deal with Q? Would he be able? Q done stole his gun, stole his dog. Why didn't Trice go after Q? I don't get it. But anyways, it shows that Jason begging for his life, and he didn't want to pull the final trigger. And that's when Detective Wallace walks up and was like, get away, Trice. I got this. Go back to the crib. Go back to the car. And basically, Detective Wallace put his foot on, Jason's neck. Basically, kind of like and smuzzle him to death, man. That shit was terrible. Broke all this right here. And basically for Q to really find out, that all Q have to do is contact somebody in the medical offices and find out the autopsy, get the autopsy information, have somebody do that for him so it doesn't look like he's pulling a file, and find out that they cracked this right here or whatever. So it is what it is. And so then that's when Detective Wallace knew he was caught. He knew he was done. He knew it was it. It was over, and then everybody started disappearing. He cut his face up. He did harm to him. He did what he was going to do to Trice to him, but he actually killed him, murdered him. But Trice was like, I had to do it. I had no other choice. You know what I mean? He's working with the Popos. If he didn't do it, Wallace was gonna kill him. So, anyways, Trice understands the chain of command. I mean, Q understands the chain of command. So he killed Detective Wallace. He killed the detective. Like, he ain't playing. And then basically he killed him. First beat him with a bat, cut his face up, then killed him, left him in a bar, took off. Cops came. Detective Cruz is there looking around basically, and he's told from his sergeant that he's on the case. So now Detective Cruz is on, Detective Wallace's case, and that's gonna bring him to Jake and Reg and Q. And whatever Ronnie's gonna tell him, if Ronnie's gonna snitch some more and say that, Kev shot me. Kev, where did you get the gun from? I got the gun from Jake. So it seems like it's gonna be a lot going on in this situation. And it's a lot of people, a lot of things that was buried for a little bit is coming back. And it seems that, Detective Cruz is a good detective, so he's gonna find out what happened. I wonder, is he really gonna care or not? But we got to find out if Detective Cruz is going to care about who really killed Detective Wallace. Because basically, Detective Cruz wants to uncover all the shady shit that Detective Wallace was doing in the streets. And we'll see if he goes that extra mile for it. Because there's still things that he don't understand about Detective Wallace and his history. But he might find out. And so we get Detective Cruz knocking at Kevin's door looking for him. And talking about, her son was involved in a murder, but as a witness. And then is he going to tell the story? And is it all going to connect back full circle, go all the way around, go from Emmett letting Brandon know what's going on? I think Emmett let, Ronnie know where the hell Kev be at or whatever, something like that. So it's like, damn. It's like, and then on top of that, Brandon is at the truck basically. Now he knows his mom is not selling the house, so he's not going to get the money to actually build his taco truck or make it better or whatever. And guess who pulls up? None other than Reg and his boys. The same two dudes that was driving the car saw, Brandon there last week, and now they reported to Reg, and now Reg needs a new plan. He needs a new hustle to sell his drugs and bring money back and sell drugs in his community, because the house is too hot, so they got to switch up. And so what other better way to sell drugs on a food truck? And I don't know if you guys know, like I know, a lot of these food trucks do be selling drugs. A lot of the delivery guys that deliver food deliver drugs. So now Brandon's going to be involved in this situation. Brandon can get killed. Brandon can get robbed. And then now that's going to mess up Brandon's relationship with, Jericho, once she find out some shady shit's going on, if he's bringing a lot of money, or if he gets more trucks in his name and have these dudes working on this truck, and it's going to be crazy. And then but then that's also going to bring Lewis involved, because Lewis, kind of invested and, Brandon. And now, Lewis is with the streets. He's with the shits. So it's going to be crazy. And is Jericho going to leave Brandon forever when she finds out that he's going to be hustling for, Reg, and using his name and his truck for drugs? And is Brandon going to actually tell Jericho what's going on? It seems like he can't talk to her. He can't tell her things. But this is something that maybe he will try to get to tell her, where she can't block her ears for her to know, so she don't leave him. And then that's going to leave him laying around. And then if is Tracy actually going to, go to that counseling section after Ronnie's arrested and being charged with murder, knowing that Ronnie killed Laverne's son, because she really put the battery in Ronnie's back to go out there and do something. And so then at the end of the episode, we have Q. He meets up with Tracy, and he lets Tracy know, and he tells her that the situation is all done. Basically Jason was at the wrong place at the wrong time, and she takes it. She's a selfish bitch, but she's been through a lot. And, Q did rape her and all this other stuff, blase in the third. But she was really part of, Kruger's demise. And Ronnie was, on drugs, drinking, doing pills, because, he went to whatever his name house, the Haitian guy or the Jamaican dude's house to get high. He was coming from the Vietnam War, not the Vietnam War, Desert Storm War. And he was drinking, and basically he had to face a lot of things that he did over there. And so, having Tracy back in his life and having Jason, and then thinking that he can get back to what he used to have, thinking that he can have a normal life back with her, because he was stuck in a situation before he went over to, Desert Storm, where he thinks that this part of his life with Tracy and Jason was the best part, but he never seen how Tracy used him. We understand why Tracy can pick up and leave and throw somebody away quickly, because she was thrown away by her stepfather and her mother when she was a child, and sold to Q as child slavery and child sex slave. So anyways, peace. I'm out. One love. Oh my gosh, 40 minutes. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share the video. It would be greatly appreciated from the bottom of my heart, my peace, my peoples.